Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Virgos in early April? It's my favorite season that we're in right now. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo early April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. And I hope everyone had a very happy Easter weekend. And it's also the week of my birthday, my good friends. So I'm sending everyone extra positive vibes this week, hopefully. So this card, speak of positive vibes, it does have a really good aspect to it. There is something we do want to watch out for when it comes to this card. I guess it depends on whatever your situation might be. But whenever I see a puppet master, it makes me like raise a little eyebrow. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So, looking at the image, we see this jester that is putting on a little puppet show, right? We got all the puppets, he's pulling the strings. It could be very entertaining. So we're going to start with the positive aspect that I always feel with this card. I always feel like it reminds me of entertainment or fun, first and foremost. So for some Virgos, maybe you're feeling good. Maybe you're feeling great. Maybe your energy is nice and light and enjoying itself. Or this could be advice from spirit. Well, like, hey, make some time for fun. Or like, especially if you've been work, or you've been going through some things, maybe spirit wants you to do something where you genuinely enjoy it. Not because you have to do it, but because you want to do it. That's always important, I think. It's part of that nice balance that we try to strive for. So yes, this could be fun. It could be entertaining. As with everything in life, just watch the limits. There may be certain individuals that might be a little too lighthearted or having too much fun. Again, nothing wrong with that. No judgment here. But the real downside obviously comes from the puppet and the string pulling symbolism that I pick up here, because whenever I see that, to me, it's like somebody controlling something from behind the scenes. I don't want to use a word like manipulation, but to me, it could be very similar to the Seven of Swords, where there might be more going on behind the curtain with something. So we're going to let him chill right there. We could take the positive aspect, but let's see what tarot has. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Virgos. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Explosive Action Incoming, which again, that could be good for some of you depending on your situation. When I get a lot of fiery energy, to me, it's forward moving, right? Whether good, bad, or indifferent, it's moving forward. And explosive action could be great because that could be short term gains where it's just like, boom, everything just happens all at once. That could be great. It could also be very random. It could also be a little hot and heavy. So we're going to see if any of that bleeds over. Just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. Very fiery. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Virgo in early April. What do we got? Okay. So yeah, this energy, talk about moving forward. We got the Knight of Swords. I do really like this energy. I like the Knight of Swords. I want to see where this knight is going. That's the important thing, because out of all the knights, he's the fastest moving one. Let's get a couple more here. What do we got for Virgo in early April? Okay. Stop, go. So it's like we have the fastest mover, and then we have the most sturdy, stable, immovable energy right next to it. So that's worth keeping an eye on. Let's get one more here. See what we got for Virgo. Interesting stuff. Okay, cool. So you're going to have a bonus here. Now, your third card is the Two of Cups. This represents somebody else's energy. I like it. I do like it on its face value, and I'll explain that a little further. But then we have the Seven of Cups right here on the back end as a bonus, which again could be very great and creative and imaginative. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I always like to take a quick look at the elements because I feel like that frames the reading. It tells us how energy is going to be flowing. And there's a lot of internal energy here this week for you, Virgo. We have air, earth, and water, especially here on the back end. Now, that is a nice mixture. That is mostly energy that works very well with you, especially the earth and the water here. That's great. But there's energy presenting in totally different ways. Now, when it comes to the air, that's very logical, very pragmatic. It's matters of the mind. Air energy is great for learning, taking on information, tweaking things. I just love it. It's great for problem solving. It's just extremely smart and intellectual. So you could be thirsting for knowledge or you're trying to figure something out. Air is great when it comes to communication. The only downside to air energy is the fact that it could be a little cold. It could be a little detached. Remember, air energy is just very straightforward. What you see is what you get. In the center, we have earth. Cool. That's your power element. That's your comfort zone. It's internal security and stability. So that's great, especially for an earth sign like yourself. It could speak about routine, everyday life. Earth energy is great for money, finances, business, all the earthly matters of life, home and family. So we'll want to take a look. The only downside to Earth, sometimes it could be a little stubborn or it could be an energy that's hard to move. So you see what I mean? Even with the elements, not even getting into the cards, like these energies are total opposites on the front. And then back here we have the water. That's matters of the heart, so also internal. So you see what I mean? We have the mind, and then we have the heart. We have the heart, we have the mind going. So there's a lot of internal focus. But when it comes to water, I think more of matters of the heart, matters of emotion, things or people, individuals, situations that we're emotionally invested in, which again isn't a bad thing. Personal relationships are huge when it comes to water. Creativity. So if you get those creative juices flowing, I really like it. The only downside to water is that it could be overwhelming, right? Like water can literally pull us under, and it's very up and down. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the Knight of Swords. Now, we spoke a lot about the air element itself, and this guy fits the bill. Now, for some of you, maybe you're connected to an air sign, right? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And I always say when it comes to all knights, they all represent action and they all represent communication. So they're like messengers. So the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving one. He's moving towards something like a rocket. This is full steam, full go, full send. We're going. So again, the action that we were seeing last week, fully encapsulated by this Knight of Swords, that could be very good. It's like very determined, very headstrong type of energy, very quick. So could it be distance and travel? Maybe for some of you, but it's just energy that's zipping and zooming. The downside to the Knight of Swords, sometimes it could push it a little too hard. Sometimes this energy could do a little too much, force things, do things too quickly, haphazardly. The Knight of Swords can also be a little conflict based, right? Remember, very hard headed type of energy. So there's an aggression here with the Knight of Swords. Not saying that's definitely the case, but it's worth keeping in mind. So we'll see. Is this a conversation or is it an action? Is it just how the energy is flowing or was flowing? That's going to be very important. Now, moving to the middle, we have the complete and total opposite with the Hierophant. So again, big Taurus energy. If you're connected to the Taurus, that's them right there. When I see the Hierophant, I think of routine, day-to-day life, but there's so much depth to this because there's a whole spiritual angle when it comes to the Hierophant. It could speak about ritual and spirituality, meditation, prayer, going within. We love all that kind of stuff, especially if you're digging for spiritual information or doing a lot of spiritual practice. But then there's this like very pragmatic, earthy aspect too, where it's not just all spirituality. The Hierophant could represent power structures. So think of like corporations, banks, churches, things like governments. That's huge. We think of tradition. We think of everyday life. Remember, within the box. So there is a certain energy that I don't want to say it's repetitive, but it's always been this way and it will always be this way. In the downside of the Hierophant, it's an energy that can be very, very set in stone. So whether it's a good thing, bad thing, or something in between, when the Hierophant's there, it's there. For better or for worse. So we need to look at it. I mean, it's great for relationships, I'll tell you that. This is like very long lasting. It's a marriage card as well. So we'll see what's up with him. Now, moving to the very back end, speaking of relationships, as we get him tucked back in by this Knight of Swords, we have the Two of Cups. Beautiful. It's a really lovely card. It's very similar to the Lovers. Now, all twos in tarot could represent decisions, choices, being at a crossroads of sorts. This one in particular does lend itself more to the personal relationship aspect. So soul ties, soul connections, people that we care deeply for. Not just romance, it could be really great friends or family members, someone where you're on a very similar vibrational frequency. So I really do like the Two of Cups. If we're not looking at relationships, it's just silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going. So I like it. It could just tell us how someone's feeling or how an action they might be taking. Because remember, I said this could be someone else's vibe. It doesn't even have to be yours. The downside to the Two of Cups, a lot of times, the more we care and the more we're connected to a person, the harder things hit us, for better and for worse. So, again, there could be a lot of things going on with the people around you, and they could be affecting you in different ways. Now, in your bonus, you do have the Seven of Cups. I love this. I call it the menu board of life because to me, it looks like a guy's like, which cup am I going to take? So it's great for options, paths, and choices. It's imaginative, it's daydreamy, so this could represent like, head in the clouds type of energy or something literally about dreaming. So we'll see what's up with that, as long as it's not too much, but you might be a little more cerebral than you usually are. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message. Means I just tell you how it feels to me, so feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Knight of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to get to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Knight of Swords here? And yeah, that's the big thing I want to look as we start clarifying, because it's like so fast, so full go. It could be like a sudden stoppage potentially, or just something that loses steam. We'll see. Okay, so this is an energy that's either trying to ignore something. Um, I don't want to say it's just like power of positive thinking, but sometimes where something might not be going optimally, and it's like, what, I'm just not going to think about it. The more I think about it, the like it's someone to me that's purposely trying to not think about something, which then causes them to think about that thing because they're trying to not think about it. I hope that doesn't sound too confusing. Three of Swords in reverse underneath the Knight of Swords, that could be good. That could be great. It could mean the energy's on an upswing, something or an issue or problem that may have been bothering you for a while. Maybe it's not bothering you anymore or not as much. But the initial first intuitive thing is like, I refuse to think about this. I will not think about this. But that is causing the person, whoever it might be, to think about it even more. So watch out for things, topics, situations, even people where it's like you can't get them out of your mind for whatever reason. Three of Swords in reverse is not bad. If this was in the upright, I'd be a little more concerned because this energy is just like very, very aggressive. So to me, it's kind of like an energy that sweeps something under a rug too. So watch out for that, where it's like, well, let's not even address that. I don't even want to address it. I'll circle back on that. So this could be someone where it's like, once the energy starts to get deep, it's like, not too deep, not going to touch that right now. So it's odd. It's a little avoidant too. And again, no judgment here, but this could just be how the energy is presenting itself right now, where it's like, I'm avoiding this topic, I'm avoiding thinking about it. But then that causes like a thought loop, if that makes sense. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving, which again, maybe it's not going to be a permanent thing. But let's see what's going on with the Hierophant. Let's see what the Hierophant has. Because that energy's rocking, that energy's moving. It could slow down here, depending, right? So why is the Hierophant here for Virgo? Why is the Hierophant here? That's just like such a drastic change in the energy. Now, normally when I read the shifting of an energy and the changing of an energy, it goes from slow to fast. This one is the opposite for some reason, where it's like we go from fast to slow. So for some of you, this could be a very welcome change. Very, very welcome change. For others, maybe not so much, because like the energy does seem to like really slow down or lose steam rapidly. Now, again, if that's things stabilizing, if that's things improving, awesome, very much claimable for you. But I do see this drastic change or this very powerful change that happens suddenly. Because when I go from this to this, there's no ramp down. There's no like slow, medium, fast. It's just from like full go, full stop. It's like a sudden change or a stoppage. That's the main vibe I'm picking up. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is a very patient energy, right? We see the person, they're chilling right there by their pentacles. Good card, usually. It represents payoffs to me, patients being rewarded, but it's not really doing much, right? And same thing with this Hierophant, not really doing much. So there's just a drastic, sudden, very quick, even surprising change in energy. Now, could this be someone else's energy? Sure. Could this be a situation in general? As I've been saying, if there's something that's been really bugging you, or something that's been a little hectic, or that's been a big slog for a long time, this could be energy stabilizing. And in that case, it is very, very good. Um, but for some others, this could be a little bit frustrating, where it's like, oh, things were going so well, or wait, things were moving, and it's like it lost steam. There's like this little stuck aspect to it, but we're going to keep moving. So we do see a drastic change in energy. I guess that really depends. So we're going to go and see what's up with the Two of Cups, and we'll get into the recap before we do a shadow. So why is the Two of Cups here for my beautiful Virgos? Yeah, a change or a shift. So what do we got? What do we got with the Two of Cups? Yeah, now the deck is being very specific here with this clarifier. I'll tell you, I like when they shoot out specific cards. There we go, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I keep seeing this for a lot of different signs. There must be something going on astrologically. So I have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is actually very good. But this could sometimes represent a cycle repeating or something returning. Okay. And you're probably like the third, maybe even fourth zodiac sign. And I haven't even filmed all of them yet at this point that have a very similar thing where it's like doorways to the past open up for whatever reason. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, even in reverse, is good. It's expansive, but I don't feel like it's in a rush. It goes from an energy that's in a rush to full stop, and now here it's pacing itself. So it's like the energy is jumbled. Like this energy should be in the middle. It should be like really fast, medium, and then slow. But for some reason, the energy is just all jumbled up for some reason. So take that for what it's worth. It's like things are out of order, where it's like, no, that should have happened here, or this should have happened there. But again, it is very protective, the Wheel of Fortune. I always claim it. To me, it's a big four-leaf clover, and I love it. But it is very sudden. It is very fast. So similar to what I've been saying with this like surprising change in the center, this reinforces that to me. Watch out for changes in other individuals. Like there could be someone that's acting a little bit different, or you feel something's a little off underneath the surface. Watch out for that, because that's kind of what I'm picking up here in the back end, where it's like, something seems different. Did I switch realities here? Like, was it always like that? Did this person? I don't know. It's getting very complex here on the back end. But if we put all that to the side, when I see the Two of Cups with the wheel in reverse, there could be situations or even individuals that pop back up in this time, or a cycle that's repeating. So this stuff that's going on in the front, it may be something similar to what you've experienced before, where it's like I don't want to say it's like I'm on a hamster wheel, but it's like a cycle repeating. It's just very peculiar, and it seems a little out of order. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, as I already mentioned, the energy flows in a very peculiar way in this reading. But position number one, we got the Knight of Swords with the Three of Swords in reverse. This energy could potentially sweep certain things under the rug, or not want to dive too deep in certain things. There's a little avoidant energy there. For some of you, that could be things improving. But I also got this thing about thought loops, where like the harder I try to not think about something, it causes me to think about it more. So watch out for the thought loops. Moving into the center, we have the Hierophant with the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Here it's like this sudden change or shift in energy, very surprising, completely out of the blue. It's like something either stabilizes or loses steam. So just watch out for things like that. Again, for some of you, this is fantastic, but for others, it could be a little frustrating. Moving to the back end, we have the Two of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The energy just seems out of order. Like this energy should have happened here. So it's like energy's a little jumbled up. Watch out for subtle changes in individuals around you, or just certain things where it's like, that seems different. Is that a Mandela effect? It's odd. For other portion of you, there could be a door to the past that reopens. You don't have to walk through it, but to me, it feels like things could pop back up or a cycle repeats. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going. What do we got in the shadows? There we go. Thank you. Yeah, so very, very similar types of energies that we've been picking up here. So we have the world showing up in the shadows, which isn't necessarily bad, but I will say that the world is similar to the Wheel of Fortune. They both do talk about cycles, they're both karmic. The world itself is also pretty in depth, and that's another thing with the reading overall is that there's a certain depth to it. And it could represent the close of a chapter or an ending. So I find it odd that the world shows up in the shadows when we have this cycle that seems to repeat. And that could be the downside of the world. The shadow side of the world, if it's not a rough and tough ending, it's an energy that doesn't seem to end. It's an energy that seems to just go and go and go, where there's like no beginning, no ending. The energy's out of order. So just watch out for things like this when this card is here. And again, I know you just take it however it hits for you. The world can speak of completions, but the shadow side of it could tell us, like, oh, maybe it's not as complete as you thought it was. It's very possible. So we're going to put the world down right there, my beautiful Virgo friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.